The tension between these two, Drake could make a song about how thick it was.
Ooh, I'm black and I'm proud. I'm black, they can't keep me down. I'm black and black with a smile. A black beam of the man.
Hey y'all, it's Producer, and I don't think I have completely recovered from that episode. It's not even that, like, no one died. It's not even like Reggie's episode from season 1. It's just, man, I was at the edge of my seat, and I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh. And then they left me with that cliffhanger, like, what the fuck happened to Sam? And then all these bombs were dropped about all these trolls. I'm like, god damn. Oh shit, I didn't mean to rhyme. But yeah, this was a very nail-biting episode. It was at the edge of my fucking seat. But yeah, let's get into this. So, I almost forgot to say, this is episode 8 of volume 2 of Dear White People. What the fuck rhymes with 2? Anyway, it starts off with Gabe, and normally I don't go over. I mean, the episode's focused on Gabe, but really it's focused on Sam and Gabe. And normally I don't cover like the little history portions, but this was interesting because there were real information that I thought actually needed to be discussed. At the end of the thing that I talked about, like film history of Winchester, it had like chance of like we are the order. And I'm like, oh, is this one of these secret societies? But what interests me was that at the end, it had like these people that look like they were in the 60s. These black students are in the 60s, maybe 70s. I'd be dead if it's like 80s. I'm like way off. And they're in that area that Joel and Trevor saw those signs. And it's still saying we're the order. So I'm like, oh shit, these niggas are black. Or why should I be like the black Illuminati that we saw from last episode? Because, you know, when you're talking about secret societies, and PWI, I'm gonna think the secret societies are gonna be PWI, but I guess that's not the T. But yeah, just something to think about. And then before we get into the T, Gabe starts recording people on their takes on racism, and Coco has a very interesting quote about how she would hate the idea of Kamala and Michelle running together because Barack Obama he had barely any problems with him, yet he was still being harassed left and right. Not literally. That man was only attacked from the right. And she feels it'd be even worse if 2 black women ran. And I was like, that's very thought-provoking. But yes, into the actual text. Okay, I thought this was going to work. Anyway, tension with X in it, because they're X's. So, Sam is interviewing Gabe while Gabe is interviewing Sam. Sam's recording Gabe for insurance, I guess, and Gabe is recording her for his assignment about Am I Racist? And she starts off by saying that that's a fucking stupid premise because she's been basically saying the same shit, but her claim is because, since Gabe is white, people are listening to him. I mean, it's a little ignorant saying that because it's not, I mean, it's most likely because he's white, but it's also very ignorant to ignore the fact that he's not coming across in an abrasive manner. Although, to be honest, would people even listen if you were in a non-abrasive manner? I don't know, but this is Sam. Her character is to be annoyingly radical, which really comes out in this episode. She is a very multi-dimensional character, but they really pushed that annoying shit on her. Anyway. What else? Okay, so one of the interesting things she brought up, because like I said, while she's knowing for radicalness, I still agree with most of her things. She was saying that like he's basically capitalizing off of their oppression by getting an assignment and like which can easily be turned into like awards because that's normally how these white hoes do it about racism. Like he'll interview all these black hoes and their takes on it, and he'll get the awards, and not much will happen to change the status quo. I mean, like, this is all hypothetical, but this has happened. I mean, most of these race movies, most of these slavery movies, for the longest, there wasn't that many black people in it besides the slaves as actors. Whoa. The actors as slaves. Slaves of actors. Lord, that makes you sound like that fucking news nigga. Oh my gosh, I forgot his name. Producer in the future, you better get that shit. But yeah, there was like awkward ass tension because they kept like going back and forth about like their ex and shit. I mean, their history. And then he brings up a point, or she brings up a point with Gabe and saying like, "Oh, it's not a public outcry for help. I'm just being myself." And then Gabe's like, "Oh, but really? Because it looks like it's working well for you or something like." No, no. I think she said he's doing it to be different. I mean, to get attention. And then he's like, "Oh, really? Well, you should know because it looks wonders for him. I mean, for her." And I was like, "Oh shit, oh shit." And then they start stopping the tapes. This is a thing that happens a lot. They stop the recording and they talk about their personal shit, so people don't have to see their personal shit, except for the end. And they're like, "Wow, I didn't think you're gonna bring this back up," but they did. So they turn it back on, and then he starts having questions that suggest that he blames her for Silvio, which I think is fucking stupid. Silvio is the reason for Silvio. He called himself a lefty SJW, and now he's like a sharpshooter or some shit. There is absolutely nothing that Sam could have done to stop that bullshit. Even if she didn't text him back on fake Twitter, he would have still been alt IVW. So what I find offensive, besides that, is then now he really tries it and he's like, "But did it hurt you? How do you feel being a target?" And she knows that he's trying to open her up for vulnerability. And she talks about this other, he's like, "But that's a great answer to a question I didn't ask." It's like, God fucking damn. And so she's like, "Okay, I am hurt. Is that what you want to hear? Is that what you want to know?" She's like, "Yes, that's what I want to know." And she was like, "You fucking sadist." I mean, she didn't say fucking. She said, "You sadist," which is facts. You really want to see her in pain like that. And apparently he has this idea that like, well, if trolls see you in pain, then maybe they'll like stop harassing you and see the damage that they're done. And both Sam and I were like, that's not how trolls work. Trolls troll because they think it's cute. They don't do it because you're like some inanimate object. The fact that if you display emotions, that fuels them even more. Which is why I say, if someone's trolling you, don't respond back because that's what they want. A response, a reaction, something to motivate them. But yeah, Gabe was done with that. Excuse me. However, that was when I stopped rooting for Sam because then she started getting on my nerves. Excuse me, it's like 2 burps in a row. Nasty. Sam, Gabe tells her that, wow, you, because I actually don't remember what was brought up, even though this is like the second time I watched this episode. Gabe basically was like, you didn't apologize for Reggie, because Sam called him out for something. I think it was like leaving her by herself at the thing. Oh yeah, I think that's what it was. At the protest, he left her by herself. He was like, "Well, you fucked Reggie and you never apologized for it." And she's like, "I did," and she was doing a whole bunch of stuttering. But what she didn't say was, "I did apologize," because she knows she didn't apologize. And if she did, it was off camera, and that'd be a bitch move if they did that. And then she was like, "And even if we did, we were never together." And I was like, "Okay. Y'all were most certainly together because y'all most certainly said, 'I love you' to each other." She literally says, "Do you know how hard it felt? Like, I said I loved you. I've never said I love you to anyone." And he definitely said it to her because he said it first, then she said it back. And then she has the audacity to be like, "Oh, we were never a thing." You just want to not own up to the fact that she was a fucking hoe. Don't you? Oh my goodness. Sam, to see... I agree with, like, this is why I don't like Sam. I really don't like Sam. Sam is honestly really up there with Silvio. They did a whole lot better of me liking Sam this season, or making her a lot less of a radical, more of a person. But she still does annoying shit. And then she was like, "Oh, you know, I ran around here. I'm a grown woman. I can make my own decisions. And you know what? I fucked Reggie, and it wasn't because of you. It was because..." Actually, she didn't say it was because of her, but it was really for herself. Because I don't know if y'all remember this, but she was like, "Oh, I fucked him." She was like, "Why did you do it?" She said, "I wanted to know what I like. If this is what I wanted." No. No. Yeah, you are right. You definitely didn't do it for Gabe. But you need to calm down and like you did something for some ethereal cause. Oh, I fucked Reggie for the greater good. No, you did it because not you just felt bad for him and y'all both were horny. Take a seat. Nothing special. And then what is it? Oh, and then so they keep going back and forth with shit. Oh, I should probably say that like this is off camera. They left the recording studio, and then Sam's about to go, and then he's like, he said something to her, and then she was like, "Oh my gosh, you with your white guilt. This is why you're only doing this because you're white guilt." And he was like, "Yes, I know I have white guilt and all this other type of stuff." And I was like, "What does this white guilt have to do with anything?" Honestly, I feel white guilt is an annoying thing that is super dumb. Y'all about to hear a poem about it. White people do need to know their history, but why should they feel bad? Just like Reggie said, if your dog bites someone, that is your problem, but like, you shouldn't feel bad about it because you didn't do it. You're not responsible. Just try and make up for that. That's all I ask for you. Don't be crying and be like, oh, I'm so sorry for what my ancestors did, because that's not going to fix anything. So I really don't like this because people like him having to apologize for every little thing that he didn't even do. I mean, I guess technically he did call the police. That's because of people like Sam. Sam, you didn't have to like bring up race unnecessarily. That's why Gabe is always on eggshells. And it's sort of annoying, but at the same time, do I want an eggshell ass nigga or do I want an ignorant ass Kurt ass nigga? Well, I shouldn't say Kurt, because Kurt's like getting low-key woke. But he's still annoying. Because there's no sign of him taking off them long jockeys. Y'all remember them hoes? So then Gabe fucks up. I was room for Gabe, but then he fucks up. Because he says that the only reason she does Dear White People is because she's trying to make up for her other half. And she feels bad about it. And both me and her are like, okay, no, that makes no fucking sense. Because I don't know who you're talking to. Maybe in the black community, they look at her and she's mixed. But in every other community, they look at her and she is black as fuck. She's black as fuck. I think it is ignorant to say otherwise. And then she talks about this email where basically this guy plays with her emotions and she was afraid that her dad was dead. But no, it was a stupid electronic e-card email about calling her a racist nigger. And I mean, like, that's some cold shit. Like, and she's like, you don't know what the fuck I go through. And he doesn't. But that doesn't, I feel like that still doesn't give you a right to act all hard, well, not hard, but overly defensive and always, what's it called, confrontational. Because he's not responsible for it. He did say something that was a little ignorant, but I don't know. I feel like she just loves to have a fight. When, like, I feel like this was the most, if this was a climax of this season, this would have been perfect. But it's not going to end off with that. I already know that it's going to end off with some shit about Ricky and, what's his face? Carson. Because why would y'all... Because, like, there were signs in there, too, that said, oh, Carson's coming live Thursday at 7 p.m. I don't know why I specifically remember that sign, but I couldn't remember from certain other parts of the episode. But I know that's going to be the thing. Because, you know, this, I guess, isn't worthy. This was a great episode. If it was a cliffhanger, and we're like, Sam gotta go, bitch, I think that would have been perfect. But we were telling me the cliffhanger is actually better than that, so I can't be too upset. Anyway, I feel bad for her for that email. She does not have to go through that, regardless of how extra she is. And then she starts talking about epigenetics, and she's saying that pain is literally in her DNA. And I've heard of epigenetics, but I don't know if that, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel a lot of things are passed down by genes, but pain through slavery, I don't know. I can't subscribe to that. I can understand it, but like, I personally don't feel pain. I feel a lot of things. Like, when I see police officers, I tense up and shit. And that's not even just because of the media. That's because my family, we just have a history. And, you know, black races just have a history. That's with a lot of places, too. And I go down south, even with places where there's no Confederate flag in sight. Just because of the fact I know I'm in the South, I just feel uneased. I feel like that's more relatable than like actual pain. And then so they build it up to like this kiss, and then he was like, "Oh, you're cute, whatever." But they do like this thing where like, you know, where they kiss and they're about to be all aggressive and they start grabbing each other, but homegirl backs off, and it's almost like she regrets that kiss. She's like, "Why am I doing this? I can never be with him." And I was like, okay. But then after that, Joelle breaks in. She's like, "Sam, you gotta go." And like I said before, I'm like, why does Sam gotta go? I feel like this is a continuation of the trolling, but I also do not know. But that's what I think. And then the episode ends off with Gabe creepily rewinding back the fact that they was like, "Oh, I miss you." And he says, "I miss you back." Gabe, I know like this relationship means a lot to you, but whatever. Anyway, I think this is a fantastic episode. This is one of the best episodes, period, of the show, just in general. It wasn't really that funny. This is actually one of the most, what's the word for unfunny? Whatever. It was very serious, and the tension was very intense. But I love that even with the tension, there was no Tyler Perry shit. She didn't slap the shit out of him, and he didn't regrettably punch her. I appreciate that shit. And speaking of the two, they had like fantastic acting, and there was some great camera stuff with like the close-ups, the back and forth, the what's it called? I feel like there's a word for it when you is it reverse cut? I should know this. My director wanting to be ass. Anyway, I just thought it was fantastic how it was filmed. When she was like, "Oh, you gotta go," when it slowly crept up on her, not that stupid ass Family Guy. "Oh, I'm dramatic. I'm like melodramatic," but it's that really just built up the realization, like something just terrible, some burden is just just getting heavier and heavier. She has to face the fact that this school is just not for her anymore, and this troll is doing too damn much. Anyway, that's what I thought of the episode. What did y'all think about it? Tell me in the comments below. It's almost over, guys. I'm gonna be very upset. But this is episode 8. Thanks y'all so much for watching the video and sticking with me. And I will see y'all whenever.
You black and you love it, put your hands up. If you black and in public, put your hands up. If you black and you proud and not giving a fuck, put your hands up.